Level 1. The passer. You're standing at a checkout counter with $100 bill in your hand that isn't real, and the cashier is holding it up to the light like she already knows. 4 days ago, none of this existed for you. You had a gas station job, a rent deadline, and $31 in your account. That's where this actually starts. Rico, a guy from your building, offers you an envelope of $100 bills, not a loan, not a gift, real money, in exchange for spending fake money carefully. The rule is simple. 1 or 2, a store, buy something cheap, never the same cashier twice. You've never done anything like this. Your hands don't shake, and that surprises you more than it should. That's the scene you started in. The cashier squints at the bill under the light. 10 seconds feel like 10 minutes. She shrugs, hands you your change, and moves on to the next customer. That's it. The bill passed. 98 real dollars are in your pocket now. You clear $400 that week, more than 2 full shifts at the gas station. For the first time since you moved out, you're not doing math every time you open your fridge. Rico watches you work a second run without flinching. That's rare, he says. Most people's hands give them away. He's got something that pays better than passing ever will, if you can handle it. Level 2. The washer. Rico hands you a shoebox instead of an envelope this time. Inside isn't cash. It's degreaser, a hairdryer, and a stack of ordinary $5 bills. The technique strips the ink clean off real currency paper, without touching the security strip or the watermark. What's left is blank, genuine paper, worth whatever gets printed on it next. Your first full batch comes out streaky, 20 bills, ruined. Rico's already told you a bad batch is your loss to eat, not his. You have one night to figure out what went wrong. You slow the drying time down, lower heat, longer wait. The next batch comes out clean, 50 bills, no streaks. You just solved something the last 2 guys in your spot couldn't. You're not counting rent money anymore. You're clearing $800 a week, and you've started keeping some of it instead of spending all of it right away. Rico brings someone by the garage to watch you work. A quiet man who doesn't say much, just watches your hands. Rico tells you afterward, that's the printer. He wants to meet the person actually running the equipment. Level 3. The printer. The press jams mid-run in a warehouse outside Newark, ink bleeding across 400 bills that are now worthless. The man next to you says, "You've got 6 hours before this whole batch is a loss." You've never run a press like this alone before. You strip the feed mechanism down piece by piece, while the printer paces behind you, checking his watch every few minutes. You find it, a bent roller, barely visible. You replace it with a spare from a drawer. Nobody else thought to check. The press runs clean again with 2 hours to spare. That night changes your standing completely. Within a month, you're running the press solo, adding the security ribbon by hand, thread by thread, copied from a real bill under a lamp. You stop thinking about rent entirely. You stop thinking about money most days, period. What you think about now is whether today's ribbon work is good enough to pass a bank teller's UV light. A bank teller in Trenton runs one of your hundreds under a scanner and flags it. The first bill of yours ever caught in 2 years. The printer shuts the whole warehouse down that same night. 6 weeks of silence follow. When the warehouse finally reopens, the printer pulls you aside. He's not running the floor anymore. He wants you handling something that never touches a press again, moving the product itself. Level 4. The broker. You haven't touched a printing press in months. Today your job is moving bulk currency along I-95, and the buyer waiting in a motel parking lot outside Savannah is someone you've never met. You sell in bulk, now 30 cents on the dollar. 100,000 in fake bills, nets 30,000 real dollars from someone who'll pass it slowly, city by city, for months. 3 weeks later, you hear a broker 2 states south got pulled over with 40,000 in a door panel. He gave up a phone number within 6 hours. You don't know yet if it's yours. You change your car, your phone, and your route within the hour, without knowing whether any of it matters yet. That uncertainty is worse than knowing something is actually wrong. Nothing happens, no knock, no call. But the printer decides the network needs a harder wall between the street and the people at the top. And that wall is about to be you. Level 5. The ring leader. 6 people report to you now, and you've never met 4 of them in person. That's not caution anymore. That's just how you survive at this point. You launder your share through a car wash you own outright and an import business that deals in restaurant equipment. You stopped worrying about money a long time ago. What you worry about now is who knows how much you actually have. A broker in Georgia gets arrested. You cut contact with everyone who ever spoke to him directly within the hour. 6 people lose their income overnight, and none of them will ever know why. You haven't touched a fake bill with your own hands in 2 years. You used to think that distance would feel like safety. Instead, it feels like watching your own operation from behind glass. The Secret Service has had a case number open on this operation for 3 years. You've never been photographed. You've never had your voice recorded. That's the entire plan. And it's worked so far. Level 6. The Fall. Federal agents are already inside the warehouse, before your phone even rings to warn you. 3 years of investigation compress into about 4 minutes of movement you never see coming. It takes them 3 years, a flipped broker, and a wiretap warrant to connect a car wash and a restaurant equipment company to your actual name. You didn't think that chain could ever be traced back that far. In court, prosecutors lay out $8 million in traced transactions across 6 years. The sentence is 18 years. You don't react. You've had a long time to think about what you'd do in this exact moment. And it turns out, it's nothing. Outside the courthouse, agents call it the largest domestic counterfeiting case in a decade. Inside your old network, someone else already has the presses running by the following week. The machine doesn't pause for anyone. Somewhere in South Florida tonight, a 19-year-old is standing at a checkout counter with a bill in his hand that isn't real. The cashier is holding it up to the light. He has no idea what that 10 seconds is actually going to cost him, one way or another.